Hello, this is Perk13 again, another Trangia stove modified test, and this one comes on the heels of Colorado Camper, and I believe Hiram Cook also did this. But essentially, instead of having a separate fold-up stove, something as simple as 3 or 4 just long nails would work as a pot holder, and it certainly does. These are 3 1/4 inch nails. I didn't have any 3 1/2s, which I believe Colorado Camper used. But we'll see what the time tests come out to be. Anyway, it holds the pot very securely. I mean, as secure as it can be sitting on top of the burner itself. But it's certainly not too bad. It's actually more stable than an upside down west wind. So we're going to run this test. Similar to the last, this is 16 ounces of tap water in the percolator. Same cool stove, same amount of heat in there. I'll light this up, let it blossom, start the timer. Then we're going to run the test again using a foil windscreen similar to the previous video I just posted. We'll see if that makes any difference as well, but kill the lights and get a better look. And this is 60 degrees ambient today, a little cooler in the garage, so it may take a little bit for the stove to blossom. We're going to let that happen. Here's a quick look underneath. We're just at the 30-second mark, so nothing spectacular is happening yet, but I just wanted to let you get an idea of what the flame looks like with just tiny little 3 nail pot holder. Pretty ingenious. Okay, passing 5 minutes 56 seconds, and I can hear water beginning to boil inside the percolator, but I haven't seen a perk yet. Edit, edit, edit. Okay, we're coming up, and there's one little perk. Remember, we're looking for 2 quick succession. We'll call that at 6:24. Not a bad time for nothing but 3 1/4 inch nails. I tell you, that's going to pack light, certainly in a little bit of space. Okay, we're going to reset everything. Well, one thing that they did mention is squelching the fire is a little bit more difficult with with nails in there. You got to get the nails out prior to squinching the snuffing the burner. Oops. Alright, we'll reset everything and test it again with the windscreen. Okay, for test number 2, it's going to be the same as before, 16 ounces percolator, the 3 1/4 inch nails by 3 of them in the Trangia refilled, cooled off stove. So this time I'm going to try it with a foil windscreen. It's approximately, I'll get you a measurement in the next segment, but I think it's about 2 1/4 inches tall. I'm going to put it around the burner here in the center and fire off. Grab the lights. I'm going to give this configuration a whirl and see if it comes out any faster. There we go. Alrighty. Get ready on the stopwatch, put the pot on. Okay, make sure we're centered. Scoot that over just a tad. Again, it's pretty darn stable. Shockingly so. Alright, we'll let that get a little further down the road and I'll come back to you. Okay, here we are again, just 48 seconds in, but give you a closer look at the bottom here. See how the flame is being distributed. The nails don't really get in the way. They're so small they go right, the flame goes right around them. Makes a nice circle pattern on the bottom of the pan, and let that keep going. While this one's cooking, the only real concern I have, and probably the reason why the times come up to be about, well, I guess the last test was 6:24, is the flame height with just those nails is pretty low. I'll get a measurement on that in a minute when I pull the pot off, but it's nowhere near the 1 3/4 that the upside down west wind or the previously tested hardware cloth stove had. And that last test that we ran here without the windscreen at 6 minutes and 24 seconds is pretty close to the performance. It's about 20 seconds less than the performance of the original, I guess it was hardware cloth and foil from, I think, 2 videos back, with 32 ounces though. That's twice the amount of water. So it's not a real efficient burn, but it is an acceptable time at only 6 minutes, 6:24 to boil 2 cups of water. I'll have to do a 32 ounce test just for fun and see what that comes out to be. Okay, at 4 minutes 54 seconds, I gotta make this quick. I'm starting to get a burned edge on the windscreen. I'm sure you can see that. Okay, I can hear it starting to want a perk. There's a baby perk. And 1, 2, I'll call that. All right, that's 5 minutes and 40 seconds for this configuration. Substantially better performance. Pull that off of there. All right, 5 minutes and 40 seconds, most excellent. However, like I mentioned during the video, we were getting some burn right there on the edge. So this is a reused, this was actually one of the foil wraps on the hardware cloth stoves, and just kind of reused it. But yeah, I'm going to have to bring that down and open the gap a little bit. But other than that, it worked pretty well. It did all of the efficiencies that we saw from the previous test with the hardware cloth stove just by adding the windshield. And 5 minutes and 40 seconds is pretty good for an open flame unmodified Trangia stove. As far as performance goes, just the simple nail supported configuration was just slightly slower, I think it was. Yeah, the reversed upside down west wind was 5 minutes and 27 seconds. So it's slightly longer time boiling than carrying around all the larger west wind stove. Just 3 little nails. These are 3 1/4. I think 3 1/2 would still fit the pot and probably give a little bit extra boost, maybe another 1/8 of an inch of clearance. I almost forgot. I was going to do a 32 ounce test just for grins. So we'll get this thing fired up one more time, and we're going to check that out. This is just to compare to the other tests I ran very early on, I think 2 videos ago. With 32 ounces in the coffee pot, this is filled to capacity. It's a 6-cup coffee percolator, but only holds a measured 4 cups of water. So we're 32 ounces. We're going to put this on and see what kind of time we get. And again, I just took this, folded this windscreen down just a wee tad, and we'll see if that helps with the performance. All right, so we'll get this on here nice and straight. I am very shocked at the stability, even with 32 ounces of water in there. Very good. You can see how the flame is configured now. It's not burning the edge at all. Matter of fact, it's not even touching it. I folded it back about 2/10 of an inch, and probably could have gotten away with just 1/8. But it's better to be safe than sorry. It keeps burning up my aluminum. Anyway, I think this is going to be a pretty good actual test. See how long it's going to take to make some coffee. Alright, we got a little bit of there's 1, got to get 2 in a row. And come on, 1, 2, we'll call that. 9 minutes and 11 seconds. Well, where's that put us? That puts us with 32 ounces. That means that this is slightly less efficient than the reversed west wind, but it is better than a standard west wind stove, and it's better than the mini Trangia stove. It's probably the closest to the cloth only, hardware cloth only stove, which had the same height as the reversed west wind without the foil. And this one came in at 9 minutes without the foil, and 6 minutes 43 seconds with the foil. But I tell you, this one certainly gets high marks for being the least complex and the least expensive with just nothing but 3 nails. Very impressive for what it is.